Hello everyone and welcome to Monsters of the Deep. Sometimes I'm your host Eric. I guess I'm just a part of all Cephalopods videos now. But I guess that's nice. It gives me my time in the limelight compared to my stupid brothers who don't deserve their stupid fame. But whatever. Today, I'm here with Octoword, despite the name is actually a squid, to talk about our third group of cephalopods that I'm talking about. Or is it fourth? Is the Kraken a cephalopod? I don't know. You know what? No. I'm tired of you. You are always mispronouncing our names, and it's driving me batty. So you know what? I'm taking over. Wait, do you really have to...
No. Give it. I'm taking... No. Hey, take that. No. You get out of here. Hey, wait, no, don't open that. Finally.
That guy's worse than my neighbor, I swear. Anyway, yeah. As he said earlier, we're talking about another group of cephalopods today. Squids. Might not grab some popcorn, this could potentially be a pretty long video, I'm not gonna lie. But before we get into any specifics, let's talk about what makes a squid a squid. First of all, squid have long, tube-like bodies, with many species having 2 long tentacles and 8 short tentacles. Overall, many species of squid have about 10 tentacles, or arms. Honestly, I don't know what terms you humans use, but we squid just like to call them all tentacles. Makes things so much easier. Most smaller squid species travel in schools, just like fish. Not to mention, like octopi, squid are also capable of squirting ink, and we can change color. But it's not as impressive as octopi. Every day we're bitter about that. Why do they get the good camouflage? Well, all we can do is go from white to red. That's stupid. And I've always been jealous of those stupid egg suckers. Anyway, just like octopi, our diet is mostly crustaceans, but we do eat fish occasionally. I mean, crustaceans are the reason our beaks are so sharp. We need the hard beaks in order to crack the hard shells. You ever tried opening a crab shell with a fleshy beak? Exactly. Rest in peace, Jimmy. And we can also fit into any area we can get our beak into, since that's the only hard part of our body. Well, alright, let's get into some species now. First off, we have the vampire squid, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, which literally means vampire squid from hell. Yeah, don't let the name fool you, these guys are phonies. They're incredibly harmless, and they're literally only a foot long. They also do not drink blood, despite what their name would say. The vampire name comes from the fact that the skin connecting their tentacles looks like the capes vampires wear. I guess superhero squid was too stupid or something. And like a lot of deep-sea animals, these guys are bioluminescent. Interestingly, instead of hunting or scavenging most of their food consists of what is known as marine snow. If you don't know what that is, it's white flakes that fall off of dead bodies that float around like snow. Ugh. I feel so bad for these guys. Ugh, that just sounds disgusting. Next up, we have the Humboldt squid, Dosidicus gigas, also known as the jumbo squid, the flying squid, and Diablo rojo, with the flying name referring to how it moves through the water, not an actual ability to glide. There's no such thing as gliding squid. That's just silly. Unfortunately, with these guys, there's not much to talk about, since everything interesting about them relates to how they relate to humans, so we'll get back to them later. Next, we have the giant squid, Architeuthis dux, which is not only the most famous squid, but is also one of the most famous marine animals, period. Those stupid guys always hog up the fame. Why do you think they're so shy? They don't like the fact that they're famous. I was just talking to my friend yesterday who's a giant squid, and he was all like, well, the reason we don't come out much is because we don't want to be cameraed. I mean, we're camera shy. And it's just like, dude, you're nearly 40 feet long. Why do you care what people think of you? And he was all like, well, I just don't want people to judge me. I mean, these tentacles make me look bigger than I am. And I was all like, look, why don't you just come to the surface sometimes, and maybe you'll see that humans aren't that bad. And then he was all like, but I don't want to end up in a calamari restaurant. And I was all like, but you can't be eaten. You're too full of ammonia. And wait, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, as their name suggests, giant squid are massive, being capable of reaching lengths of up to 40 feet long, with males being bigger than females. They mostly have a diet of deep-sea fish and smaller squid, but really they could eat just about anything given their size. However, giant squid are actually most famous as a prey animal. They're eaten by pilot whales, sleeper sharks, those stupid sea devils called orcas. Oh, you humans just love them so much. Well, it's not very fun down here. Those guys could literally eat anything. They're way too smart. We're planning a revolution against them, but unfortunately fish don't really know how to start a revolution, so we're kind of just stuck with them until we figure out how to revolutionize. Because honestly, once we do, we are going to wipe them off the face of this planet! Anyway, their most famous predator is the dreaded sperm whale. Ugh, I just got a shudder reading that. Those guys were like the ultimate squid boogeyman. Our parents would read us horror stories about them and how we should stay inside at night, but unless we get eaten by the dreaded sperm whale. Ugh. Anyway, for many centuries, sailors have told stories about seeing epic fights between the massive whale and the massive squid. And the way these fights are described, it sounds like they're pretty equal titans, locked in combat with both sides being equally able to kill each other with ease. In actuality, though, what's going on is that the squid is trying not to get eaten. Yeah, really. And just think about this logically, how would a squid kill a sperm whale anyway? You can't really strangle them, unless you get your tentacle over its blowhole, I guess, but I don't think Squid figured out how to do that. You can't really bite him to death, that would take too long, and you'd probably be dead by then anyway. So, yeah. Those epic fights were literally just a squid trying to survive, so thanks for rewriting history, jerks! Giant squid are also famous for their elusiveness. The earliest known accounts of the giant squid comes from the famous Greek philosopher Aristotle, who wrote about seeing squids way bigger than any other. Later on, giant squid appeared in an early animal encyclopedia called Natural History, which actually gave them their correct size, so we know that this wasn't a mythical creature. Giant squid sightings really started taking off when in the 1800s giant squid started washing up on the shores, usually in Canada, and their remains were found in the stomach of the sperm whales. For a few centuries, giant squid were completely mysteries to scientists, with reports of live animals being very rare and none of them being on camera. However, this all changed in 2004 when Japanese fishermen finally managed to get a picture of a live one. However, even to this day, photos and videos are incredibly rare, and the giant squid is still elusive. Now, with all that being said, it might seem like the giant squid is the most mysterious creature in the sea, right? However, for as mysterious as the giant squid can be, it's at least more well-known than the colossal squid, Mesonocoteuthis hamiltoni. Basically, imagine everything that makes the giant squid elusive and then add the fact that it lives in Antarctica, and you've got a recipe for a very elusive creature. The colossal squid is actually shorter than the giant squid, since there's never been any reports of them being more than 40 feet long. However, the colossal squid is more massive, which leads to it being declared not only the biggest squid, but also the largest invertebrate. As stated before, the colossal squid is even more elusive than the giant squid, and there's even less specimens and photographs of it. And considering its habitat, it's unlikely we will be getting any progress on it anytime soon. Honestly, there's a lot you humans don't know about Antarctica. I could tell you, but it's funny how you guys try to figure it out and then you end up freezing to death. So, yeah. Apparently I'm supposed to look at cards now, at least according to the script the sweaty guy had, so let's get into that. First up, we got the giant squid, and yeah, this definitely came out before 2004. Because it says right there that no one has ever seen it in its natural habitat. I guess that could be true, you humans don't really go down to this deep that much, but, you know, we have a photograph now, so that's something. Also on the back it claims that they can eat baby sperm whales. And once again, it claims that they're an equal match. Great. Next up, the vampire squid. The only real error here is that it claims its diet is unknown, but in actuality, nowadays we know that they mostly eat marine snow, so 9 out of 10. Next, the Humboldt squid. Honestly, there's nothing really bad here, so 10 out of 10. Next, the colossal squid. I'm not even going to try to humor this one, so yeah, I can't really comment here. Next, we have a card from Strange Wonders, the opalescent squid? Why is that here? These guys are basically the most generic squid you can think of. I mean, yeah, they make pretty colors, but besides that, what else is there to them? You know what? For giving these guys a card, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Now let's talk humans for a second. Squid are pretty popular with humans, mostly as food. You guys ever had calamari? That stuff haunts my nightmares. I will never get it out of my head. Ugh. Especially when it's dipped in that red blood stuff, marinara. Is that what you guys call our blood? You guys deep fry us and eat us for our blood. Is that what you guys do? Sorry. Anyway, you might have noticed if you've been to an aquarium that squid are pretty rare. Why is that? Well, no one is quite sure the reason, but every time squids try to be in captivity, it always ends up in disaster. So as such, they are very rare in captivity. Oh, and don't expect to see the giant squid anytime soon. If we can't even keep regular squid in captivity, and we barely have any pictures of it, then I highly doubt we'll ever see giant squids in zoos. Speaking of, giant squid are pretty famous for being the inspiration for many sea monsters, like the Kraken, or Celia, or a lot of stuff really. But sometimes it's just plain giant squid that are told in stories. You know, like that something, leagues beneath the sea, I forget how many leagues, 10,000, 6,000, 100,000. I don't read human literature, I don't know. And as for colossal squid, whenever they appear, they're basically depicted as just upright giant squid, even though colossal squid have a very distinct appearance to them that makes them different from giant squid. So yeah, that's erroneous whenever that happens, so yeah. Oh, but you want to know about squid attacks, don't you? Well, most smaller squid are pretty harmless. But then we got the Humboldt squid. Some people consider them more dangerous than sharks. But why is that? Well, because they're known to attack people, seemingly at random. However, this has been challenged in recent years by most marine biologists to say that Humboldt squid in reality only attack people when they're feeding or in its mating season, since a lot of people have observed swimming with them with nothing happening. Or, alternatively, maybe they only attack because of divers' shiny suits or something. Really? Who knows? Well, I know, but I'm not telling you guys. It's funny to see you wrestle with squids. Well, that's all for this episode of Monsters of the Deep. Next time, it looks like you guys are changing series, so, goodbye, and I'll see you later. Assuming my stupid neighbor doesn't give me another migraine.